No, that's
Certainty of
really
death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankin. I apologise for the late start, but I've been having technical issues, as JP can attest to. Got a great bunch of people here. I've got Tater here. Tater, how's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me, Malcolm.
Also here we've got JPO. JPO, how's it going?
Good.
And last but not least, we've got Jay Burns. Jay, how's it going?
I'm doing great, mate. Thanks for asking. How you going?
It's going good. And yeah, we're here to do top 12 acting performances in video game movies. It should be interesting topic, but it's like, you know what? Borderlands is out, and we'll find out how this goes. But how this works is we each go around and nominate a video game performance if it belongs on a top 12 list, and then everyone else will say yes or no to it. Because we've only got 4 people, it's going to come down to the other 3 people on the panel whether it makes the list or not. But it'd be very interesting to see what happens. Tater, I'm going to go to you first. What is the first video game performance that you're going to bring up?
Well, I'm just going to get this one out of the way immediately. The best video game line delivery in movie history. For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday. The reason Dhalsim can't breathe fire in that game is because they spent all the fire budget on that burn. Any which way. Raul Julia, Street Fighter 2.
JPO, what do you say about Raul Julia for Street Fighter 2?
Street Fighter 2?
Well, Street Fighter the movie.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I got confused.
Nope. That is actually my bad. I fucked up the title after fucking chastising Jay on this whole Mario thing. Yes. Street Fighter the movie.
Yeah, no. No, he's definitely trying. It's actually a good performance, or at least good for what you kind of want in that aspect. So, yeah, I'll be good with saying yes to that
one. Jay, what do you say about Raul Julia for Street Fighter?
I'll just say that all of Dhalsim's attacks, just because he yells yoga before them, doesn't make him a fucking yogi. Obviously, Raul Julia is getting in. What are you talking about? Yes, this is the best line in the movie. Don't get me wrong, like Ming Na Wen right there too, looking great in the Ki Pao, but no.
Yeah. I haven't. One of these days I'll get around to watching Street Fighter the movie, but I just haven't seen it. But I have seen this specific performance on a few other lists that I was looking up. So yeah, I can't say yes or no to it, but it's going to make the list regardless. But JPO, we go to you next. What is the first fake performance you're going to bring up?
I'll go Jim Carrey and Sonic. I think he elevates that character to a degree as far as movies go to actually make it very entertaining. And I hope he comes back for a third. Even if he's kind of trying to wean down his career, I think he's helped make that character pop up even on screen.
Jay, what do you say about Jim Carrey from Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well, it was on my list. I assumed saw this one coming from a mile away from any one of us on this panel. Like, he's right. He does a great job at portraying the character of Robotnik, Eggman, if you will. He's funny. He's also super intimidating, but like in the Jim Carrey-esque way, this would be a yes for me.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they've confirmed it is coming back for Sonic 3. But yeah, no, Jim Carrey is great. Like, he was definitely high up on my list as well. Just the way he was acting in this, it brought back the Jim Carrey from the 90s stuff where he was doing all that kind of sort of goofy stuff as well. it's just great. So it's an easy use for me as well. Taylor, what do you say about Jim Carrey for Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, even though it's my second pick from the franchise, there's no world in which this doesn't get in.
Jim Carrey from Sonic the Hedgehog is going to make the list. Jay, we go to you. What is the first pick you're going to bring out?
See what's my list. I know they'll get in. He's already gone. We're gonna start with a god, maybe a lord of thunder and lightning. We're going one Christopher Lambert from Mortal Kombat 1995 as Lord Raiden.
Yeah. So once again, it's another one of those from that era that I just haven't seen. Like, it's been on my list for ages to get it, but I just haven't got around to it, and I just don't really have time to watch a lot for these as well. But Tato, what do you say about Christopher Lambert from Mortal Kombat?
Gosh, this one's difficult because it doesn't stand out as an actual super awesome performance, but at the same time, in the realm of video game movies, we haven't had a ton of it's not like we're debating 30 different Oscar winners trying to cut that down to 12 or anything. So I think this really does border around that top 10, 11, 12 area. I am going to squeak this one by with a yes. Just because, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it's right there.
JPO, what do you say about Christopher Lambert from Mortal Kombat?
I would have preferred Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage, but I'll let this slide and say yes.
It's a really good choice,
I like
too.
Lyndon Ashby a lot.
Or Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa. That one just popped into my head, though.
You mean Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa? If you're Henry?
I mean, if you're Henry with the Tato lawyer.
Not that I'm saying you nominate a lot of people for Mortal Kombat. I never said you can only have one per movies. Just without
that's true.
So I'm going to go for this one because I think it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. But when they announced they were doing a reboot of Tomb Raider, I thought that no one was going to be able to sort of compare to Angelina Jolie, because I did quite like her as Lara Croft. But I think Alicia Vikander did a great job as Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider movie. I think it's confirmed. I think it's getting a sequel. I know it's getting a TV series reboot, but I don't know about a sequel to this one. But I think Alicia Vikander was great as Lara Croft, and I think she definitely did her own with this new sort of updated version of Lara Croft, as they're basing it on the newer games as well for the whole updated outfits and that. But I think she was great. So, but let's see how this goes. Taylor, what do you say about Alicia Vikander for Tomb Raider?
So I haven't seen this one. Does that mean I vote, or do I pass it on and come back around? How does that work?
I mean, you can vote if you want to, but if you haven't seen it, you can't really judge it either. So I've had people do blind voting before, so.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure I followed the rules of the program, because I'm a good person sometimes. I will. I will give this a yes. I'm trying to curry favor.
JPO, what do you say about Alicia Vikander for Tomb Raider 2018?
No, I would have said a legitimate yes. No, she's a good leading actress and actually is a solid performance. So yeah.
And Jay, what do you say about Alicia Vikander for Tomb Raider 2018?
I said Walton Goggins, but Alicia Vikander does a really good job also. So yeah, this would be a yeah for me. This is a really good performance of hers. It's not as, I want to say, it's not as campy as the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raiders were, but like it also does what those do, and not necessarily follows to the stories in the game really well, but to like the physics of the world and whatnot. They both do a really good job, and I like that this one's a little more grounded in reality than the other ones were. What is it? Japanese zombie princesses aside. So yeah, this would have been a yes for me.
But that Legend of Kanda is going to make the list. But Taylor, we go back to you for your next nomination.
Alrighty, this is my only other really big push that I care about significantly, because video game voice actors should remain their characters if the movie allows for it. Again, obviously not live action, but Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails in Sonic 2, who she's already Tails, she's been Tails in the games, she perfectly nails the performance in the movie as well. So I definitely think she should get in. And like I mentioned, I think she's even a little better than Jim Carrey in those movies. It's harder to see if you're like, for me, it hits a little more. If you're a Jim Carrey fan, especially, the Jim Carrey is going to hit more. And obviously Jim Carrey more for the broad audiences. But I think Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails is fantastic.
JPO, what do you say about Colleen O'Shaughnessy for Tails from Sonic 2?
Maybe I need to rewatch Sonic 2. I don't remember other than like cutesiness about it. So that's maybe my fault. I have to say no. I don't remember.
Jay, what do you say about Colleen O'Shaughnessy for Tails?
O'Shaughnessy is great. Like, there's a lot of, you're right, cutesy moments, but there's also a lot of heart in that character. And I think having a fully digitized, character that, yeah, like the face mimics a little bit, but you have to bring so much to the performance of that. And I think it helps that she was also the voice of Tails already. So yeah, this would be a yes for me, just purely based off of the acting portion of it alone, the voice acting performance alone.
Yeah, this is tough for me because like I'm kind of JPO because I don't remember too much about Tails in Sonic 2, but then again, like I do like the way she portrays Tails too, because and like Tails is my favorite character hands down in the Sonic the Hedgehog video games anyway, and yeah, so this is one of those ones like I don't mind giving it a yes to this. I do like the character. I do like the way she portrays the character as well. And it saves me having to kind of do a backtrack message in the private chat because I accidentally hit enter before read through the
I promise it is way better than if that would have just been some random like Hollywood actress.
But JPO, we go to you next. What is your next nomination?
Oh Christ, I hate dogs. Sorry, I don't even know where to go. Cause like, it's just a tougher topic than I thought it was going to be. I'll go Jack Black in Super Mario Brothers because it's funny.
Jay, what do you say about Jack Black for Super Mario Brothers?
Me and Taylor were talking about this in the hangout before this. I knew this one was going to come up. I have a couple of different ones from this movie, but Peaches is such a fire fucking song. Like, it's so good. I still listen to it. It's on my Spotify playlist. Yeah, he does a different performance than I think just the that you get out of Bowser in just about everything Super Mario 64 included. But yeah, no, he brings heart to a performance of a villain. And I know we say that a lot, but like it's really what happens when you're talking about voice actors. There's not a lot of there's not a lot else that you can talk about other than the emotion that they bring to the character. and he does a great job changing his voice. It's really hard to kind of tell that it's even Jack Black at some points. So yeah, that's what.
Yeah, no, that was precisely what I was going to say. Yes, this job is like, well, I not. I think the movie's good. I just wasn't as high on as the other people, but that's probably partly because like I don't care about Super Mario Brothers the characters at all. But but yeah, like Jack Black as Bowser, like when it was first announced, like at first, like I was apprehensive about it. Like from what I knew about Bowser, was like it was completely opposite of the way Jack Black sounds. But I think Jack Black proved like why he's a good voice actor as well as an actor because like he's really good at changing his voice enough to not sound to make the character not sound like Jack Black. And yeah, so it's an easy yes for me for Jack Black from Super Mario Brothers. But Tato, what do you say about Jack Black from Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah, as Jay mentioned, we were discussing it backstage, and I had said that I was going to deny it. However, upon thinking about it, and like this would be me still saying this if my vote mattered. I'm not trying to recant because my vote doesn't matter at all. Like in hindsight, like I am going to push back on what you guys say about how it doesn't sound like Jack Black. To me, it is very obviously Jack Black, just like pitched slightly lower. I think if like there's not a huge stretch. Like I think the better voice acting performance of Jack Black's is genuinely Shark Tale. But that aside, I'm going down to what JPO mentioned. Like, yeah, this category is kind of rough. So while I don't actually love Jack Black the way you guys seem to in this performance, I am going to say yes, it squeezes into the top 12.
But that Jack Black is going to make it in. Jay, we go back to you. What is your next nomination?
Where am I going to go with this? As far as acting performances, I'm going to go with the live action. We all know the name Ben Foster. We don't all know the name Duncan Jones, but he directed a small-time film called Warcraft. Ben Foster plays Medivh, the guy who ends up being one of the bad people in it, but like he gives such a great performance, like trying to do the right thing for his people ultimately ends up with him becoming evil for a portion of the movie. And that slow switch is so nice to see. It's so good it's such a great performance.
But yeah, I know I've seen Warcraft. I haven't seen this in ages. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember which character Ben Foster played. but yeah, but actually, I'll look it up for a second, just to refresh my memory.
I don't think I got his name.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, I'll give a slight yes. Like I think I do vaguely remember that character now, and so I'm going to slight yes. Tato, what do you say about Ben Foster from Warcraft?
Jay and I just watched this movie relatively recently. I also don't remember dick all about it, so I'm gonna have to go with the JPO. Like, yeah, I unfortunately don't remember anything about that movie. I wouldn't have known that character's name or who Ben Foster is before Jay said it. Unfortunately, there's nothing about that movie that stuck out to me, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to pass.
Not even Garana's green titties.
But JPO, what do you say about Ben Foster from Warcraft?
Yeah, Ben Foster's a great actor here. Yeah, this is gonna squeak into a slight yes for me.
Cool.
Ben Foster from Warcraft is going to make it in. It's back to me. No, I'm going to try for this one and see how this goes. I know the movie itself is not loved a lot, but I'm going to bring up Mark Wahlberg as Sully from Uncharted. Like, while the movie itself is not loved, like I actually enjoyed the movie for what we got. Then, like, while some people do complain, like, oh, Max should have been Nathan Drake and all that, but I think Mark Wahlberg actually really worked as a younger version of Sully, and like, and while yeah, the timeline was all over the place. Like, I think the Uncharted movie worked in the fact that to be a prequel to the games, and and I think Mark Wahlberg was great as Sully, and like, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see him with the mustache in the next movie. But Tato, what do you say about Mark Wahlberg as Sully from Uncharted?
Yeah, this is another one I haven't seen, and I'm unfortunately, as a result, going to lean with the masses who shit on the movie. Like, so I just like it's kind of like I think most people said Alicia Vikander was pretty all right, and I think a lot of like, I don't think anyone said Mark Wahlberg was good. So
JP, what do you say about Mark Wahlberg from Uncharted?
Yeah, what I've always said with the movie as just a fun like action adventure film is fine and very passable here. But it's not exactly the movie I think I and many people wanted. And I think Mark Wahlberg is extremely fine. But again, you talk about people not going outside the wheelhouse. That's the epitome of Mark Wahlberg in this movie here. We've seen this character. He's played it a few other movies here, and so it's not bad, but it's not 12 worthy in my opinion. So no.
Jay, what do you say about Mark Wahlberg from Uncharted?
This is also going to be a big no ski for me, dog. I don't like Mark Wahlberg's performance in this movie as much as I don't like the movie itself. Like, it's okay, but like he has stuff to go off of, and I'm not saying you have to emulate the character, but the least you could do is some sort of fucking research about the character that you're playing and bring some of that into playing the character, and he didn't do that. So that's why it would be a no from me.
That's fair. But that he's not going to make the list. Tato, we go back to you.
all right, I'm gonna run this one back a little bit. The villain from a '90s video game movie who is in a completely different movie than what the movie is. Robert Patrick in Double Dragon. He is perfect. He is batshit crazy. He is Robert Patrick in the '90s to a T. It is, like I said, he's in a completely different movie than everyone else. Great performance, terrible movie.
Looks like JPO's on a phone call for a minute there, but
I can
Yeah,
go.
hey,
I'm just trying to multitask.
no, it's all good. JPO, what do you say about Bob Patrick from Double Dragon?
God, it's been so long since I've seen this, but I do remember being crazy enough, and I love me some Robert Pattinson, so kind of similar to Ben Foster. Let's show some love to these character actors, so I'll say yes.
Jay, what do you say about Bob Patrick from Double Dragon?
He's Sokka's sword master, bro. Like, he's a friggin' Terminator, my guy. Wiggity, wiggity, wiggity.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah, the
Literal secret tunnel.
literal secret tunnel. No, this is honestly, Tato's not wrong. He is not in the same movie that everybody else is in, and I think it makes that performance stand out that much more. This is gonna be a yes from me. Also, if you haven't watched it, watch it. That shit is worth it, bro.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't. I don't really ever frame a reference to kind of even hesitant some kind of blind vote here, but he's going to make the list anyway. And with that, we go tip back to JPO. What is your next nomination?
Yeah, the one we kind of talked off air a little bit about, Archie Madaway for Gran Turismo. I think it's a really good performance. There's a few good performances in this. I think overall that's what really sells this movie is that it's believable, it's fun, but it's also thrilling and has cool stuff. Archie Madaway.
Jay, what do you say about Archie Madaway from Gran Turismo?
I'm gonna say no on this one. And it's not. I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna abstain. I haven't seen the film, so I'm not gonna say no. I'm just not gonna vote on it.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because and this is one of those ones like there's when someone brought it up in the chat, I see in the chat, it's like, yeah, someone can bring it up if they want, like because it's one of those tricky ones where it's technically a video game movie in the aspects that it's showing the car racing and all that and that, but it's also primarily a true story movie at the same time. Um, so it's definitely one of those double-edged swords, one like that's kind of on the fringe. But you know what? I'll give a slight yes. Like I like the movie enough, and I do think this performance was great. Tato, what do you say about Archie Maddox-Gray for Gran Turismo?
Yeah, for me, I was between him and Harbor 50-50. I'm happy with Archie getting the nod, though. That works 100% for me, so I'll say yes.
The Archie Maddox-Gray from Gran Turismo is going to make this list.
The only person who didn't make it so far.
Yeah, Mark
Wow.
Wahlberg. But Jay, we go back to you for your next nomination.
All right. I'm going to get this one out here as fast as possible just because video game movies are notoriously bad movies, but sometimes there's just the perfect casting for them. I know everybody wanted a Dead or Alive extreme beach volleyball video game movie. We did not get one of those. However, we got a volleyball scene in the Dead or Alive movie, but that's not the scene I'm talking about. I just wanted to remind people of that. We're going to nominate Jamie Presley as Tina Armstrong in DOA Dead or Alive. She just encapsulates the entirety of what the character Tina is, a rambunctious, attractive, trying to get away from her father, doing whatever she wants and whooping ass while doing it. Her father being Kevin Nash in the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Just for JPO.
Yeah, when I was doing my research for this, like, because I looked up at all the video games, like, I looked at Dead or Alive. I didn't bother looking at the cast. It was like, because in my head, was like, surely no one's going to bring up one from that. But this it's actually a guilty pleasure movie for me. It's like I actually do rather enjoy this movie, and I do actually think Jamie Presley is decent in the movie as well. So I'm going to say yes. See what happens. Tato, what do you say about Jamie Presley for Dead or Alive?
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, but I'd be like, with you and Jay aligning on the thought, I'm gonna agree with it. I'm gonna say yes. Like, I just like the two. If the two of you are agreeing on something, there's something to
The end
look
of the
into for sure.
I mean, to be fair, me and Jay agree more often than you might think.
Quit telling people that. Don't spread filthy
Let's
lies
talk
about
about Ratatouille.
But JP, what do you say about Kevin Nash's daughter from Dead or Alive, Jamie Presley?
Really? You got me voting on Kevin Nash? Fuck, I'm not gonna say no to Kevin Nash. Yeah, sure. We Diesel, baby.
Let's go with that.
I mean, it's actually his daughter, but I know what you mean, JP. But
wait, what were we voting on?
It was Jamie Presley from Dead or Alive.
You were the last vote anyway. It was 3-1.
Oh, then it's yes for getting for favorite.
Yeah, but that is back on me.
I do like her though too. She's fine in it, and my name is Earl. Represent.
the hold music, the elevator music in the background.
I'm going to try this and see what happens. And so I know a certain person here likes this franchise. But I'm going to go for, I've already seen the first movie of this. So I'm still going to get around to actually watching the other movies. But I'm going to go for Mila Jovovich for Resident Evil because I think like she was great in the movie as Alice. And she's the reason that I'm kind of considering watching the rest of the franchise. I'm not going to lie. So I think she was great in what she did. So I'm going to see what happens. Taylor, what do you say about Mila Jovovich for Resident Evil?
Yeah, this also came up backstage. Like, this is right on the borderline of that top 12. Like, those movies, like, someone's probably going to get in from there. Mila or Ollie Larder, I figured would be the two it would come down to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I think we can still piss off Mark Wahlberg a little more. Yes.
JPO, what do you say about Mila Jovovich Resident Evil?
No, it's actually a big yes for me here. Yeah, well, the movies don't always, most of them are great. I think she's absolutely trying her ass off, and she's very believable, and that's probably why I watched all 6 of them or whatever, was to kind of finish this journey. You start with Mila. So I think she absolutely deserves to be here.
And Jay, what do you say about Mila Jovovich Resident Evil?
Is the specifically the first Resident Evil movie?
Yeah, it's the only one I've seen.
Yeah. I know the reason why JPO said yes. Everybody knows the scene that we're talking about. That's the only reason JPO said yes on it. Specifically in the first one, I'm not a giant fan of her performance until she gets her memories back about halfway through, but then she becomes like an absolute badass in that like third act of the film. And it gives like a dichotomy of the performances. Like, oh, here's this meek kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, amnesiac, and then there's the badass. And to pull both of those off without really skipping a beat, I'll say yes to this one. It's not who I wanted from the Resident Evil franchise to pop in, but it's not a bad choice at all.
Who's on you're going to looking for?
Oded Fair as Carlos Oliveira from Apocalypse.
My man cannot resist a mummy reference.
I can't.
He can't.
Suddenly Austin's ears perked up when hearing the mummy as well. But that Tato, we've got one spot left. What is the last performance you're going to bring up? That might be the last spot one that takes it.
Oh yeah, I did sort of. Even though I counted right there, I did miscount, but that's fine either which way. So like I said, we're gonna piss off Mark Wahlberg more. We're gonna put in an Asian actor where he failed. I'm between Hiroyuki Sanada and Ken Watanabe. I'm gonna go Hiroyuki Sanada in Mortal Kombat 21 as Scorpion. He as far as bringing things to light, he is the best performance in that film. The star is not particularly appealing. Obviously, we shouldn't be doing non-Mortal Kombat characters. We don't need original characters in a Mortal Kombat movie. Kano also fantastic in that movie. If it went that way, that's fine too. 2 totally different angles, but I'm going with Hiroyuki Sanada for his actual acting performance because Hiroyuki Sanada is incapable of not giving an amazing performance.
Javier, what do you say about Hiroyuki Sanada? He looks like he's talking at the moment. So, but
hey,
again?
Hiroyuki Sanada for Mortal Kombat 21.
No.
Jay, what do you say about Hiroyuki Sanada from Mortal Kombat?
I have like 9 more people on my list. I wish I could get some of them in. It's not going to happen. But this is a great fucking performance. If I want to see somebody, if I fan casted this movie 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it still would have been Hiroyuki Sanada. But like, I can't remember the guy who plays Bihan, but fucking Jesus, dude, they both do an amazing job in that. Like, so yes, this is a yes for me. But you could have given me Hiroyuki Sanada in 47 Ronin, and it still would have been a yes.
Yeah, this is one I'll give. I'm actually going to give it a blind vote on. Like, I haven't seen Mortal Kombat 21, but I've seen various clips of Hiroyuki Sanada in action from this movie, and from what I've seen, he looks good. He's the reason I'm going to one of these days I'm going to try and get around to actually watching it. But yeah, so I'm going to say yes to this, and it's going to make the list. Oh yeah, but that brings us to the end of the nomination portion of the list. But JPO, any honorable mentions that you had?
Yeah, Rhoda Mitchell in Silent Hill. I want to shout her out. Sam Richardson in Werewolves Within. My Mortal Kombat nomination would have been Josh Lawson as Kano. He's fucking great. And we had Alicia. Shout out to Angelina who did it.
And Jay, any honorable mentions that you had?
Yeah, either Ryan Reynolds or Bill Nighy in Detective Pikachu. Roberto Campanella as Pyramid Head in Silent Hill. Oded Fair, as I said, is Carlos Oliveira in Resident Evil Apocalypse. Shout out to Dennis Happer as President Koopa in Super Mario Bros. Mans eats every scene that he's in. Charlie Day as Luigi in the Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Juliette Jelinek as Lumily, the fucking nihilistic star in that movie. Great performance, not enough screen time. Ming-Na Wen as Dr. Aki Ross in Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, and Steve Blum as Vincent Valentine in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Yeah, and for me, some ones I probably would have brought up, like Idris Elba as Knuckles, I think was really good. And I had Matthew Lillard as William Afton from Five Nights at Freddy's. Say what you want about the actual movie. I thought Michael Fassbender played Callum Lynch, the Drill Wolf Callum Lynch, and whatever his character's name was in the French era, great. And
Spanish. And it was Aguilar.
Yeah. And I also probably would have gone. And I actually did like Ben Schwartz as Sonic in the Sonic movies. But that is time to vote on sort of the order of this list.
Ben Schwartz.
But just to recap, who actually Tato, do you have any honorable mentions as well?
No.
But just while on the board, what you want at number 12? Tato, who do you have for 12?
Let's see. Ben Foster.
JPO, who do you have for 12? And Jay, who do you have for 12?
Archie.
Well, we've got a four-way tie because I put Jamie Presley. So going to go to the chat. So the chat, we've got Jamie Presley for Dead or Alive, Colin O'Shaughnessy for Sonic, Ben Foster for Warcraft, and Archie for Gran Turismo. Comment which of those four you want to see at 12. Otherwise, I'm going to set up a real. I know there's at least someone in the chat because I saw Brian do some honorable mentions before. and he also went with both Super Mario Brothers 2.
That was another good one. Yeah, it's a good one there.
But he comes in and says Ben Foster. Ben Foster's going to come in at 12.
And this is why I'm not friends with Brian Nussbaum. Obviously, I'm being facetious.
Yeah. But JPO, who do you have for 11?
What was 12?
12 is
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster.
Okay.
O'Shea Hennessy.
And Jay.
Archie.
Sticking with Jamie Presley, Tato.
Yeah, because I understand how this works. I wrote Jamie Presley. No, I was she and Ben were my bottom two that I was slipping between. So
Jay, who do you have for 10?
Archie.
I'm a pen. I'm gonna go for Archie.
Archie.
JPO.
O'Shea Hennessy.
Yeah. But Archie Medic Gray. Pretty sure I spelled his name wrong. Alright. I'm gonna go Colleen O'Shaughnessy. Tato.
Jack Black.
JPO. And Jay.
Yeah. Yeah, she outkicked her coverage. Yeah.
So again, another name I'm almost certain I've spelled wrong.
Archie spelled right.
No, you. I'm talking about the. I haven't put the banner up for this one yet. Jay, who do you have for 8?
Alicia Vikander.
I'm going to go for Julia.
That's not the movie.
So who do you have for 8?
Malcolm. That's not the movie. She's in Sonic 2.
Oh, right. So
I demand a recount. Alicia Vikander.
JPO. Christopher Lambert. Mortal Kombat. Jay.
You already said Alicia Vikander.
You started with me.
Oh.
I was like, I can say it again if my vote counts twice.
It won't count tries because it's. Well, I mean, it's still going to be Alicia Vikander regardless. So, my day of streams today is just not going well at all. But Tato, what do you have for 7?
Christopher Lambert.
JPO.
Maybe Jay.
Jay.
I have Jack Black, but I'll change it to Christopher Lambert to get this over and done with.
I had Raul Julia. But I mean, JPO did vote for Lambert before, so I'm assuming.
Yeah. Is he still in the back, or did he leave?
He
He's
left.
gone.
Okay. Well, no, I saw that. I was like, it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But we're move on with 3 people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'll honestly, it'll be much.
Hope
easier
everything's
to-
going well with you, bud.
Yeah.
Love you, JPO.
But Jay, who do you have for 6?
Jacket of the Blackest.
I had Raul Julia.
Yeah, Jack Black. Raul Julia's number 1. You're crazy.
Well, I mean, it's just one of the movies I haven't seen. Like, I'm not going to vote for it. It's just one of those ones. Like some of the ones that I would personally put higher. I'm not the ones I've seen. So now this one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put the right movie.
Let's try it. Let's make sure. It's spelled UNIT 731. Do yourself a favor. If you want to sleep, don't look that up ever.
But I'll probably will forget that by when we finish the stream anyway. Jay, what do you have for 5?
Jimmy J, Joe Bob, Jim Carrey.
Sticking with Raul Julia, Tato.
Jim Carrey.
See that would have been my personal number 1.
Yeah, he's really good. Like, he's below Colleen for me, but again, that's like probably like a more personal thing. Obviously, Jim Carrey's gonna hit the more broad strokes, like I said.
Just to recap who we've got left, we've got Raul Julia, Robert Patrick for Double Dragon, Mila Jovovich for Resident Evil, and Hiroyuki Sanada for Mortal Kombat 2021. I'm going to go for. I'm going to stick with Raul Julia actually. Tato.
Mila.
Jay.
We didn't even coordinate on this one, but Mila.
Is it M-I-L-A or M-I-L-I-A?
It's M-I-L-A, I thought.
2 L's. 2 L's, yeah.
2 L's? Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones like I wasn't sure if it was 1 or 2 L's, but I was like had an IA there as well. But I almost put Resident Evil, but Jay, who do you have for 3?
All right.
Who was that? Sorry,
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick. I'm sticking with Raul Julia. Tato.
Yeah, Robert Patrick here.
But Robert Patrick with Double Dragon is going to be at 3. But now we're just going to vote for number 1, and it's between Raul Julia and Hiroyuki Sanada. But it's just because the other one's going to become 2 by default anyway. But But
I
Tato,
did.
who,
I had to change. I had to change my board. Raul Julia, best video game performance of all time.
Jay.
It's not a Tuesday.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Hey, secret tunnel. Maybe JPO would have had more of an influence in that situation than we initially anticipated.
Yeah.
Still think it was pretty good. Yeah, Hiroyuki getting second is still fire. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, do I switch it up on Tato at the last second? Do I alienate one of my best friends? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, all villain, like top performances, mostly villains, and a lot of villains in movies that they're not that which really I do think speaks to the performance on a genuine level. Like, the question is best performances. Those guys have fantastic performances in shit movies, which I think is difficult to do. So I think they deserve the credit.
Yeah, no, it's one of those ones that's why I did, thought it would be fun to throw this topic on the poll. I didn't expect it to win the poll, but it was like the movies themselves are generally not that great. But it's like sometimes there are some good acting performances in them as well, though. So, but with that, to recap our top 12 video game performances, I think I'm Frozen, so the banners probably won't be coming out, but we've got Ben Foster for Warcraft. Here we are. Got Ben Foster for Warcraft at 12. 11 for Damien Presley for Dead or Alive. 10 is Archie Maddox-Gray for Gran Turismo. 9 is Colleen O'Shaughnessy for Sonic 2. 8 is Alicia Vikander for Tomb Raider 2018. At 7, got Christopher Lambert, Mortal Kombat 95. At 6, we got Jack Black for the Super Mario Brothers. 5, we got Jim Carrey for Sonic the Hedgehog. 4, we got Mila Jovovich for Resident Evil. 3, we got Robert Patrick for Double Dragon. At 2, we got Hiroyuki Sanada for Mortal Kombat 21. And number 1, we got Raul Julia for Street Fighter. But there's the end of ranking for this week. Next week we're going to be ranking all the Alien movies. So it should be a lot of fun, and that's in honor of Alien Romulus coming out. JP, just because JP is not here, I'll plug his stuff as well. Go watch the PS Wrestling Network and wherever you find him hosting trivia, and tell JPO that we love him because he looked like he needs the love. But Tato, where can people find you online?
Yep, I am at Lights Out Trivia. We are on a brief hiatus, or we will briefly be in a brief hiatus kind of situation. Dill Pickle Movie Network. Check out the MCU shenanigans over there. Also, Marvelous Movie Mondays and all the other wonderful stuff they got going on over there. A live confidential action. You can see me doing some debates, doing some trivia, whatever Henry decides is cool that week. And movie Battleground. Dun dun dun. Stay tuned.
Jay, we can people find you online.
Don't.
But you can find me all over the place. You can find me on Tape Productions as host ranking every week. Next week is going to be the Alien franchise ranking. You can also find me on my personal channel, Middle Earth Media, for my show Spear from the Past. Richie will be on this week to talk about TLC from 2018. And you can also find me popping up, hosting trivia all those places, Movie Hero Network and all that. That is the end of ranking for this week. But until next week.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.